And a very good morning. Hello, Polo World. Welcome to Polo Line. This is the first of the high goal Grand Slams in the UK season 2022. And it is the famous Prince of Wales Trophy, hosted as ever since 1986 by the Royal County of Berkshire Polo Club, based here in the glorious county of Berkshire. And I will give you the lineup for the two teams very shortly. We got our two umpires on the field are going to be Tim Bowen and Jason Dixon. The third man is Howard Smith. And just as soon as they've all greeted each other, I will give you the lineup of the teams. Here we go. We've got at number one, spearheading the Dubai team, is Benji Mancini off 1 goal, the son of Oscar Mancini, who owns a neighbouring club around here. And then there's number 2, British Matt Perry, 5 goals. Number 3, the great Camilo Jeta Castagnola off a cheeky 9 goals. And at number 4, replacing Jero del Carril with a 1 goal deficit on that, at 6 goals, is Teo Lacao from Lincoln in Argentina. Total handicap of this team is 21. So Dubai start with a 1 goal handicap advantage. Their opponents today: Alessandro Bassoni, the Italian former rugby player, now a regular feature of the high goal scene. 1 goal for him, up at number 1 position. Number 2 is Matias Gonzalez with 4 goal handicap, who spent most of his winter in Dubai, or our winter I should say. Number 3, the famous Ignacio Cubi Toccolino, 8 goals and the distinctive azure helmet. And at number 4, the greatest Uruguayan that ever lived, Pelon Sterling, also 9 goals. So for decades he's been at 10, and now coming back to play at number 4 with his old friend Kubi. This is an exceptional team, very strong team. And we're in. The season has officially begun. Bassoni's the first one to win it out of the line out. Still stuck around the halfway mark there. Then coming out is Jeta Castagnola. Just quickly touches it to the other side of Alessandro Bassoni, looking for the long pass down into the Monterosso territory. Doesn't quite reach Perry, but it's picked up on the near side by Sterling. Sterling looks up. Bassoni's made a break, but coming in for him at the back is Jeta Castagnola. Jeta picks it up deftly, launches it over. Matias Gonzalez looks after it, but it's a number 2 for Dubai. There's Teo Lacao, the newcomer on the scene, has a crack, but the ball over the back line. Making a very quick change is Jeta Castagnola. See. So Jeta, a low ball, but he gets it. It's straight and true. So very quickly earning them a 2nd goal. This 21 goal team, the high goal standard 22 throughout all the tournaments that are played at this level in England. Ball straight back in. Pelon Sterling pushes it out ahead, reaches out in front. Kubi Toccolino coming in to reinforce. Castagnola gets it, but takes it on the offside, giving away a little halfway penalty that'll be bumped up to the 60 for Monterosso, giving them a chance to get back on the board in these early stages of the game. You can see here, Pelon makes a break, touches it forward on his near side, and then in come, instead of taking the bump and winning, Toccolino fires it hard. I think it's stopped mid-air by Perry. Nice hand-eye from him. And then they follow straight onto that. But coming from the other direction, we'll see in a minute. See, here's the penalty. Straight off Perry's stick. That's a new line there. Perry comes down it with Pelon. Nicely executed there by Kubi. 2-1 as they come back to the centre. Firing it back in. Kubi doesn't get it. Pelon takes it around the outside, gets it up. He's got in between Jeta and the boards, just ahead of Perry, but in comes Lacao. He smashes it back on the near side, but it's picked up again by Kubi Toccolino. Tries to turn it quickly. Jeta's in there, in a flash, right up the ground, up to the 60. Little approach shot, and a perfect finish. Never want to make a slip like that if you're within 40, 50 yards of Camilo Castagnola. Look at the way he just pounced on that one. And that is pretty much his signature move. And terrific play. Nice, exciting polo to kick off the season with. So pretty much coming to the end of this chukker now. Pelon now. Aided there by Gonzalez, but Perry gets away from him. Doesn't quite get the near side as he comes through. Coming to pick it up at the back. Jeta. Is he going to try and draw himself inside? Asks for help from Lacao. Moves forward a bit. Tries to get the next shot, but not quite steep enough. And ends up giving it back to Bassoni. Not at the end of this chukker, sorry, just thinking of a couple of, just a little bit of testing going on from the scoreboard over on the other side here on the Dubai grounds. It's not, looks like it's Matias Gonzalez, and he's done it again. He's just picked his pocket right there in front of the goal. And he looked slightly surprised, but I'm not sure if he would be when he's that close to you. Look at where he is. Just puts his stick down. Wasn't the cleanest pinch, but it was enough, and there it was. Well, Matias Gonzalez kicking himself now in his debut for Monterosso. He's spent the winter playing for Habtoor, this guy. Well, we'll talk about him after he makes a goal rather than concedes one, shall we? Jeta Castagnola, one of the leading luminaries of polo today. On the near side, sweeping it over to Pelon. Matt Perry gives it away in attack for Pelon to do with as he pleases, who wheels around and then comes down the right-hand side. Jeta's got the inside track on him, so Pelon's either going to have to make it past or speed ahead. Matt Perry steals it nicely on this lovely grey, but then hits it straight back into Pelon. Jeta takes it, almost gives it to almost gives it to Mancini there, but ends up giving away a foul. So Kubi to take the 60. Beautiful lofted shot. Looks a tiny bit left. Yep, it's gone past the post to the left. Giving it back to Dubai to bring in from the back line. So Lacau's going to bring it in with Castagnola, just waiting for the right opportunity to run. Lovely pass up to the side on the flank. Quick release from Castagnola, but still runs onto it himself. Checks up just a tiny amount just to make the shot, which he then takes for goal. But this one out to the left. So straight back into the hands of Monterosso. A nice first chukker here, pretty end-to-end, even though Dubai dominating with their 1-goal lead. Geta Castagnola wasting no time putting some goals away. Lacau puts it back on the near side. Kubi Tocolino wins it for himself, gives it back to Pelon. Pelon. Ball just bounces up a little bit, and coming out of that one a little bit better off is Geta. Lacau pushes through again. See what happened here. Just get another view from a different angle here. We got Geta Castagnola coming in through here. Perry came in with Tocolino. But it ended up being given to 42 Dubai to be taken by Geta Castagnola. Beautifully executed penalty. And we've only got one minute left of this chukker, but Dubai have already made their mark. Deceptive handicap difference there. As we've got one of the greatest players in the world, and still barely in his late teens. This is Matt Perry now with an opportunity to show what he's made of up in front. Matt Perry, ball he leaves behind. It's still running to goal, but Kubi Tocolino can try and save it before it goes through and ends up dragging it over the back line. And I think it'll be for we'll see here who got the last touch on it. Tocolino touched it and put it over his own back line there. So will it be a 60? Yep. Safety. So more pressure, just really racking up the pressure on Monterosso in this first chukker. They received a hard shock. Former winners of the Prince of Wales Trophy in, was it 2019? I think that they came away with that on the number 1 ground over at the Berkshire. Beautiful shot there by Geta, but just out to the right. And that is the first bell for the chukker, so they'll go off now. 5-1. Dubai leading over Monterosso. Straight back into chukker number 2 with a hit in from Monterosso over the back line. Taking it confidently across his own goal in order to pump it upfield to Gonzalez is Pelon Sterling, but beating him to that is Lacao. Lacao puts in the backhander that's picked up and put out in front of Tocolino by Jeta, but Tocolino gets it away first, back to Lacao at the back. Mancini comes in to try and distract Pelon from Lacao and works well actually, as Lacao then moves forward with plenty of space, doesn't quite pluck that one out of the air, so then concedes that back to Pelon. Pelon lifts up his mallet, makes the pass into the centre of the field, and here's Gonzalez trying to cut to the outside of Lacao, up to Bassoni. Bassoni, all he's got to do is put it in. No, it's run a little bit too far. And so some nice polo starting to really gel. I think Dubai took advantage of the stiffness at the beginning of every chukker, let alone season, is inevitable when you're getting going. You're playing your first match. You've only just come over. Sure, they will have got some practices in, but nothing like a proper game. But now everybody's back in the zone, and you can tell with Jeta's 150-yard shot that comes down inside the 60, but a little bit steep for Matt Perry. He's going to have to come up with something a little bit sharper now as he comes round the corner. He's prevented from getting in the clean shot by Pelon Sterling, and Kubi Tocolino gets the rewards of that, picks the ball up in the corner, and now he's got to get past Jeta, who's coming in quickly to close him down. He leaves that for Gonzalez. Gonzalez then turns it back to the inside. Perry's there in the way. Gonzalez leaves it for Pelon, but we shall see what they decided to blow there. From this angle, we've got Perry standing there wanting to impede the ball, but they're giving it to Dubai, so not quite sure what happened there. Jeta. Third penalty of the day, and this one sears through the posts like a laser. 6-1. So far it's looking pretty challenging for Monterosso, and although they're very impressive, Barn is not unmatched in the polo world. Dubai have of course been working on their armoury for possibly 20 to 30 years now. Many years that they've been in this high goal game. It's good to see them back on the scene. Turning the ball back around is Lacao. Lacao gets a little bit caught up there, right there on the just 15 yards shy of the halfway line. He comes in, is met by Tocolino, and this one given back to Monterosso. Matias Gonzalez. Ball pumped, just slides off the side of Kubi onto the end of Perry's stick. Perry turns it around nicely, but he's interrupted by Pelon Sterling, who just takes it out to the side, then comes in with a nice sharp angle and puts in the second goal for Monterosso. So that'll be a relief to break the seal on that one. Nice play from him, just a little bit of a dribble over to the right, and then a nice angled shot under the neck. It wasn't the easiest angle there, you can see. but he got it past Castagnola. And now hungry for more, Pelon finds his way through the flags again. So 6-3, very quick succession. So Monterosso clearly meaning business. Once again, it was Heta on his tail as they head off for the half chukker. And so 6-3, not quite as dramatic as it looked for Monterosso, but they were never going to go down quietly. And just got to see if Camilo Heta can keep up the pace. But it looks like Sterling is starting to roar now. He puts it forward, but there's no one there. Lacao hits it up, goes straight up vertical, comes down underneath Perry's stick. He doesn't quite get a backhander to it, so fighting to get it through is Sterling. Look at these two titans, veterans of the Argentine Open this year. Both Camilo up to Matt Perry. Matt Perry out in front of Toccolina. Toccolina comes in, smashes his mallet into the backhand to Bassoni. Bassoni has to clear because through comes Heta. Heta's looking up now to try and swivel round and get the shot back in. He goes right across the other side of the field to go for a lovely angled neck shot, but doesn't quite get the degrees that he needs. Matias Gonzalez looking for an option on the right, but there isn't one just yet. Kubi Toccolino making a dash over to the right, but both players caught unawares by that. A little bit of not quite as cohesive teamwork there, as Gonzalez hitting in the opposite direction to the two key players, Sterling and Toccolino there, and taking full advantage of this confusion is Heta, who comes through, but somehow sitting there on top of it, Pelon retains possession. Sorry, Matias Gonzalez retains possession, even as both Lacao and as both Heta here and then Lacao here come over it. Perry tries to turn onto it quickly, whistle had already gone. So a 5A hit from the spot given to Matias. Kubi Toccolino now just in front of Matt Perry, but Matt Perry doesn't quite get the bounce on that one. And here's Sterling. Heta Castagnola looks over his shoulder. What are the options for him? Lacao's going to go in just in case he gets into trouble because he's got Gonzalez on his tail. Gonzalez is there, but Heta just keeping it away from him. Stops, scoops it inside, then turns and goes on the... Looked like he was going to go on the straight down the side. Feigns a backhand, comes back into the middle and launches another one. And you wouldn't have thought someone with such a slight frame could do so much damage to the bolo ball as he just puts it up into hyperspace to the other side of the field. Lacao's got to hunt it down now. Kubi Toccolino always at his best when defending ferociously. Backhander from Perry, picked up at the other end, if he can get his mallet in there before the two come down on the tracks, Gonzalez and Castagnola. Kubi Toccolino in a fencing match with Camilo Castagnola, who's so quick, just slashes his mallet back down, puts it out in front of the goal, and then leans forward, deftly pokes it under the neck, backwards into the goal for Dubai's 6th goal here at the end of the second chukker. And just phenomenal to witness this kid, and he is still a kid, Camilo Heta Castagnola, just not letting anything go. The moment he is within reach of the ball, it's his. And this is against the might of two of the greatest players in the world, Pelon Sterling and Kubi Toccolino. Just such ferocious players, never stop hustling. So we're going to move into some ads now and then come back with chukker number 3.
to Malaysia. Whether it's your first time here or on a returning flight, we at BP are committed to creating a pleasant experience for you through our new COVID-19 screening process here in KLIA. As soon as you arrive, please proceed towards the BP Health Screening Lounge.
While you proceed to walk past a thermal scanner, which scans all arriving passengers. Test our COVID-19 swab test online from your home country. Please proceed to the self-registration kiosk to process your e-vouchers. If you have not yet purchased the swab test, do not worry, as our friendly BP registration staff will assist you with the process.
After registering, take a seat and relax at a world-class design lounge while you wait for your COVID-19 swab test.
Our dedicated team of healthcare professionals will be there to support you through the entire process. Our screening facility is also equipped with a state-of-the-art on-site COVID-19 lab to ensure a quick turnaround time and the release of the test result.
And that's it.
Here at BP, we hope that you have a pleasant experience with us throughout this process. Till we meet again next time, from everyone here at BP, take care and stay safe.
And we're back live with PLTV Polo Line, the greatest video polo streaming service in the Western, Eastern, Northern, Southern Hemisphere. Just terrific quality, as attested by Mr. Tiernan O'Rourke, watching in the eponymous Dubai right now in the Desert Palm Resort, which is part of the whole Dubai complex, Dubai team. So Tiernan, always a friendly host over there. Back to the action here. We're looking at Lacau, drawing in Matt Perry with his tail shot, who then picks it up nicely, takes it over to the other side, wins himself plenty of real estate before he's closed down by Matthias, but then it's time for the maestro to take over. Jeta Castagnola puts it right across the other side, but this time it's up to Gonzalez to try and clear it for Bassoni. Not enough space for that next shot there for Kubi, but he won the ground nevertheless. A little slide of a pass in to Matias Gonzalez by Pelon, and then Gonzalez himself shifts in behind Perry, smacks it up to Pelon at the front. Pelon, tenacious as ever, but can't quite get it fast past the 30-yard line. Kubi Tocolino keeps at it. Who's the first one to get onto this one? Gonzalez. Gonzalez stops, turns, swivels, looks up, aims, shoots. But was there anything before that? No, that was just a straightforward goal. Very nice interplay from these guys here. He stops here, draws into the middle. Bassoni's on Jeta Castagnola's case. That little pause just made me think there might have been a whistle that we missed, but not at all. 7-4 is the score. Jeta Castagnola. Kubi Tocolino releases him of that ball, relieves him of the ball. Matias Gonzalez, Perry, backhander, makes them think twice. Nice little play from Lacau, just wins it from behind him away from Gonzalez. Gonzalez come back now and got to try and get past Lacau. Lacau standing right in front of him. He might be blown for that, impeding of Matias Gonzalez right of way. And if so, they're moving it up to, will it be the 40? You can see here, Pelon gets it. Not Gonzalez at all, both black helmets on a grey day. Pelon here, just teasing it underneath Lacau. Lacau waiting there, and just sitting a little bit too comfortably on that line there for umpire Timmy Bowen, who places it on the 40-yard spot. do please send in messages to Polo Line. We got a few messages already. Lana Negretti from the Berkshire encouraging Benji Mancini, who's actually played his whole life there at the Berkshire. Kubi Tocolino smashes it through, takes it up to 7-5. Now we've got a proper game on our hands. Asif Padihar, best of luck Dubai. Imran, they really both your names? Good luck, he says. Rachel Morley, good luck. And Eduardo Menendez sending in regards. So back to the action. Pelon Sterling sandwiched in between Perry and Geta Castagnola. Perry really throwing his weight around in this game. Lacau coming in to bring it up. So big boots to fill here for this young Argentine. Lacau taking over from Jero del Carril, who's up there in the top tiers of the players. Long shot over into the Dubai territory, but cleared there by Lacau, almost picked up by Perry, but called off it by Castagnola. Castagnola tries to draw it inside of Kubi Tocolino, but Kubi Tocolino just strapping his stick away and then giving it back to Pelon. Pelon with some very nifty little stick work here himself, finds himself the space to make the pass. Matias Gonzalez nearly gets a touch in towards the goal on his near side, but now it's up to Geta Castagnola with the pass up to, somehow Lacau found himself up at the other end of the field. He literally just went from defending at the other end to receiving the pass to the front, and now we're back to the middle. We got Geta Castagnola turning it on the centre line, running with it himself unless he loses it. No, he's still got it, makes the pass in. Can it be intercepted by Pelon? Pelon reaches in, brings down the hammer on a decent near side backhander. Kubi Tocolino and Gonzalez both bounce over the ball. The man who doesn't is Matt Perry, but the time it took him there to get that settled ball was time that he was turning on the line. You can see here both of them bounce over it. Perry thinks he's free and makes a cheeky little. So Gonzalez to take this. He lifted his shoulder for a big swing. It didn't do what he wanted it to, and instead it's time for the magician Geta to bring it ahead. Just look at him screaming away from Kubi Tocolino. And look at the pace on that guy, and he must be so light as well. Puts in the pass for Lacau, but ends up getting it himself. Comes across, tucks it under the neck. It's a goal. The umpires don't mind. Don't really mind the appeal there from Gonzalez at the back. You see here, up to the front. You got Gonzalez coming in on that line, and it could have been perceived that he came across in front of Gonzalez, but no, I think they're going to leave it and say that that was his own line that he created there. Sterling. And just like a whippet is that young Geta just comes in and just nicks it off Pelon, one of the greatest. I mean, if playing for La Dolfina for a decade more doesn't make you one of the greatest players in the world, then there is no other accolade that will. And yet Geta Castagnola on several occasions has managed to just nick it off him, but this time he's on a run, he's on a trundle. This is Pelon will unstoppable. A little bit of a we'll see him languishing in disgrace for a while until it's time for him to come back on. And Kubi Tocolino gets a penalty as well, so he converts that one. So this is a opportunity now for Monterosso to come back. Oh, he's on the ground. He's not even... sometimes they wait on their horses, so this... I'd be interested to know what the time limit for this particular penalty is. Is it the full chukker? And then Kubi Tocolino drawing up. This is time to hammer in as many goals as they can while they're down to 3 men. It doesn't seem sportsmanlike, but that's the way to get ahead. Matt Perry seizing an opportunity, coming in between Gonzalez and Kubi Tocolino, trying to close the gap for that missing 4th player, puts it up to the side. Such a superb player, Matt Perry. Such an admirable work ethic. So a great stable full of absolutely terrific horses, many of them homemade. Really just buying Dubai the time that they need now. But he got a little bit bogged down here, so just ran over the ball there. Geta came in and won a penalty there over Pelon. So really Dubai, the perfect textbook actions to deal with the problem of a missing player when you're just before half time and you've only got 1 goal between you and your opponents. So we will go straight into a commercial break, then come back for the second half of this, the very first of the Prince of Wales Trophy Games 2022.
Agradecer bastante este evento, sea maravilloso.
We've got a few stats here to have a look at for this first game. We see out of the field goals, it was Dubai, principally, in fact, if not only, Heta Castagnola with 5 goals to Monterosso's 3. Throw-ins have actually been won by Monterosso, with them getting 8 over the 5. The fouls is mostly in the Dubai camp, 8-3. 1 yellow card. Exciting way to start the season. And penalties, Dubai 100%. Monterosso 4 out of 5. So looking back into the tent, we've got young Lacao just still in his coat, so I'm not sure if he's ready to get straight back on or if there'll be a little bit of time left on the naughty step before he has to get back into the game. And we're going to have a commercial break while Papa Castagnola has a word with the Dubai team. Instagram, Facebook. Oh, there we go. All the handles. And Twitter. The Twitter sphere. So back to the centre we go. The score 8-9-7. 9-7. So Dubai scored. Well, that penalty, calling the teams to create a channel. Jason Dixon doesn't want to hit any legs on his way through. In comes Mancini, called off it by Castagnola, then leaning down to get it. Mancini doesn't quite get it, but Bassoni's ahead. So Castagnola comes in, nearly rides Bassoni into Perry, but coming around the other way, taking a novel angle on it, is Kubi Tocolino, then tries to cut back inside, but he's got the stick of Heta Castagnola to contend with. Matias Gonzalez spinning it forward. Matt Perry comes in with a ride-off, then tries to win it, but I think got a little bit too involved there. We'll see here on the replay which way it happened, but I saw him playing it on both sides, and I'm not sure they'll let it see that. This is Sterling on the near side and then reaching. So sorry, it wasn't Sterling, that was Matias. And then Perry came through, rode him off, went for the shot on the other side, and then and basically took it when he should have left it on the near side as Pelon was coming through. So, an opportunity. Not quite the equaliser after Dubai's last goal, but lovely angle here that we get to see this one from. Nice and easy. Straight down the middle. And look at the power that Kubi Tocolino's on right now. just ready to ignite. The crucial chuckers back into the line out. 9-8. It's in. Gonzalez can't get a backhander to it. Look at that. The power on a near side shot, not near side, a neck shot that goes backwards straight to Perry, and Perry takes a shot and missed it by a hair's breadth. So it's put out back on the back line for Monterosso. But what a play by Castagnola. I'd love to see that next shot again. How do you get, I mean, it's one thing getting the angle on that shot, but the power right down the line. Tocolino's the first to sweep it forward. Waiting for him is Lacau. Lacau can't get the edge. I told you he was on some power there. He's got his knee in front of Lacau's. He just can't quite get that bouncing ball. Even the cane doesn't help him bring it forward. And hits it up over the back line. But pretty strong pressure that they're applying now to this Dubai team. And what's always been considered as a warm-up. Hang on, we got Heta Castagnola now just pushing forward. He's got himself enough space. What are the options up the front? He decides to run it himself into the middle. Brings it with him. Ball running nicely as Pelon rushes to catch up, but the release is through to Perry. Can Perry put in the next shot? Goes for the angle. Will he get this one? And again, not quite on target, but both of the last two shots that he's taken have been exactly the same play. The pass, a diagonal pass across the field by Heta Castagnola. Perry's on the end of it, leans in for a next shot, and they've just skimmed past the post. Will be third time lucky. Sterling out to left to Tocolino. Tocolino drawing down to see what the options are from here. Sees Heta, thinks twice about trying to go past him. That could cost them again. Heta just taking it away from both of those. Kubi Tocolino and Pelon Sterling just got robbed in broad daylight by Heta Castagnola, but they've come back to clear up, and they just let Lacau just stumble out over the front whilst Pelon leaves it for Kubi. Kubi launches it up into the middle. Who's going to pick it up here is Bassoni. Bassoni puts in a powerful punch up at the front. Mancini can't quite catch him. Here's Bassoni. The approach is there. Just a little bit rushed on that last shot. Tries to make up with it with a near side tail, but puts it over the back line. And the whistle's blown there. Perhaps there was little infringement on the line. You can see here, Bassoni doesn't quite get this approach, so then tries to cover here with the near side, comes across there. Heta comes in. Heta is ranked within the top 5 in the world. Lacau making a great debut, especially as a substitute, putting in some strong work here for Dubai. So what happened here? What was the whistle? He hit Kubi's. So, bringing it back in again. Lacau. To Heta. Heta. Applying pressure in the centre. Looking to get it away. Just spinning any direction but the one that Kubi Tocolino is heading in. A little bit of help from Lacau. Puts it forward, but then Pelon Sterling finds the backhand. Gets it up to Matias Gonzalez, who then curls it round in towards the Dubai goal, but I was going to say a little bit too much, a lot too much. Puts it a good 30 yards off target. Still 9-8. We've been lingering around this goal difference for a while now, so it's a game that took a while to gauge itself, but here we are. Lacau brings it back in, the number 4, with his distinctive camouflaged helmet. And I think on that one, just a little bit too zealous was Camilo. Hits it upfield. Kubi chases it down, and then he just comes across. Not enough space to get away with that one. Rachel Morley says hiya from West Australia. Akmal Khan enjoying this game. Charles Pandian Esquire. Ian Kettlewell. Great to see the high goal back in the UK, watching from the Bulldog Barbers in Midhurst while you're getting your hair cut. Look at Matt Perry go. Lovely speed. Perfect delivery there for Geta. Kubi Tokolina doesn't get it, but he denies the chance for Geta to get it as well. Lovely turn there from Lacau. He's got the pressure on him from Kubi, who has to clear, and then he releases the pass up to Matt Perry, but Matt Perry is dismissed there by Pelon. Had some proper horsepower and gives a chance for Gonzalez to win it, give it back to the man at the front, Bassoni. He doesn't get it. Oh, he's got another opportunity. Just touches it over to the right. Can he get back in time? Geta. Geta moves it forward. Here's Pelon trying to catch up with Geta. Uncharacteristic mistouch there by Geta, who leaves it behind for a second, but making up for it, Lacau. Absolutely phenomenal. That'll be the goal of the day. Let's catch that on up close and slow-mo. Absolute beauty of a move. He hadn't got the timing for it, so he made up with it with this just astonishing next shot here. Just punches it forward. It's just off camera there, so we don't quite see it. Is there another angle? Never mind it. It was a beautiful next shot, near side next shot. Anyway, he takes Dubai up to 10 goals over the 8 that Monterosso have. So Lacau fully making up for his yellow card. So we go for a very quick commercial break while they have their halftime change. We'll be back for the second half of the 5th shortly.
Hello and welcome to Malaysia. Whether it's your first time here or on a returning flight, we at BP are committed to creating a pleasant experience for you through our new COVID-19 screening process here in KLIA. As soon as you arrive, please proceed towards the BP Health Screening Lounge.
While you proceed to walk past a thermal scanner which scans all arriving passengers. Test our COVID-19 swab test online from your home country. Please proceed to the self-registration kiosk to process your e-vouchers. If you have not yet purchased the swab test, do not worry, as our friendly BP registration staff will assist you with the process.
After registering, take a seat and relax at a world-class design lounge while you wait for your COVID-19 swab test.
Our dedicated team of healthcare professionals will be there to support you through the entire process.
Right, straight back into the action. Here we are. We got a line up from the centre. Ball's in. Who's first onto it? Ooh. Thing that ferocious in there. Matias Gonzalez comes back, turns it, gets it past Perry. Perry does get a touch to it, but Matias Gonzalez is up and away. Launches a massive cut shot that looks to be bang on target from here. If a tad to the left. The backhander, they're in there from Lacao. Encouraged onwards by Jeta. Picked up the other side by Pelon. Just turning onto it too late for the appeal was Jeta, but Pelon there in front of goal. Lifts the hammer, shoots, but gets blown maybe for... no. The goal is signalling, so the whistle was for the goal. Not a foul. And that is another Monterosso one, so it's 10-9 as they come back now. You can see here, lifts the stick and shoots it through the middle there. Nice, clean goal. So, Matias Gonzalez is got the number 4 shirt. The 2 number 4 shirts are right at the front of this throw-in. Okay. So, the umpire calling for, they're really cutting down on the space in between and in that channel when they do the throw-in, and Jeta found himself right in the middle there, which gave a penalty 5 to Monterosso, which I think I had that exact line here, and I'm going to say that it's out to the right. So does the goal judge. Kubi Tocolino did launch it though right up into the Dubai stables from a good 60 yards out, and add the angle, going to make that 90 yards out. So trying to punch it up to the front. So Kubi Tocolino gets a powerful backhander in. Who's there? Gonzalez takes another shot. Now he's going to have to reach around the front of his horse and completely rotate his body. Doesn't get that one. Jeta Castañola out in front, waits for the bounce, picks it up from underneath, just scoops it. It settles. He's still got it. He's going to slow right down to 0, but he slipped up, and pouncing on him was the great Pelon Sterling, pushing ahead of Perry. Perry can only watch at the moment. Pelon on the near side doesn't quite get that. Kubi Tocolino doesn't get a clean one either. Coming in with a backhand is Lacao, but maybe Matias Gonzalez had snapped onto that line before. Let's have another look and see. Okay, Pelon doesn't get it, neither does Kubi. The ball goes through that way. See this? Matias Gonzalez was right on that, and Lacao didn't have the shot there. So they're giving it to Monterosso. Spot penalty. Kubi Tocolino clinically finishes that penalty 2, takes the score up to 10. In we go. Coming back to get it. Pelon Sterling. Jeta on his offside. I think that's almost what Pelon intended for him to do. Perry comes in to try to get it. Pelon gets a shot, but I think it might be... Perry was almost lodged here underneath Pelon's neck. Do you see that? And Pelon took the shot, but Perry now remonstrating with the umpire. It's never going to go well, not with these guys. They got a zero tolerance policy and all of that, which might end up pumping this penalty up a few tens of yards. You never know, but Dixon also a very patient man, always willing to explain calmly, very eloquently to the players the exact situation. So it's a little bit too much there from Perry. And decisive, well, I won't say that decisive, but decisive penalty for Toccolino to take, as it could be the first time that Monterosso just peek ahead. It's a 3. Oh, yep, it's in. Look at that. Must have just come in past that right-hand post. Oh, no, wait, hang on. No. No. Dixon says no. The goal judge said yes, but Dixon said that it was wide. And he had the better angle on it. Lacau brings it in. Lofts it over to the left to be just tipped forward by Jeta Castañola. Look at the way he just draws down to absolute zero, but still retaining the grace and composure of a nice hand canter. And then back into the acceleration versus Toccolino. Toccolino can't get that spurt past that spurt of acceleration that Jeta had. Jeta's now wheeling all the way back in. He's just delayed a little bit on the way in and ends up ceding it to Gonzalez on the near side again, though. He puts it forward. Now he's got a tiny bit of time. And there he is. The shot is there. They're going to have to clear. Is he going to take it anyway? Who do you blow in this situation? You blow the guy who takes it when the players are there, or the players for still being there? We will see. Stops, looks up, and there's literally a wall of green and white. And he's waiting, he hesitates, he gives him a chance, but then smacks it in the back into the back of Matias Gonzalez. And so I think they're actually discussing this, because that is a hard decision to make. The player gave ample opportunity for them to clear. Look at this. Raise it once, then again fends it, and then again, and still nobody moved. The white... So... Sterling to bring it in. Uruguayan sweeps it over to the left. There isn't a white shirt to meet it yet, so Lacau puts in a inch perfect pass for Jeta Castañola, but he didn't have quite enough space to take it around, and it's Perry again. Got in the way of Kubi Toccolino. And I think this time it is going to move up to the centre. Pelon Sterling takes a long shot, met by Perry. Perry comes through, doesn't quite win over against Matias Gonzalez, so it's up to Lacau to put in a backhander to Jeta, but this is picked up. I think that's Sterling on the ball there. And now look at the pressure that Matias Gonzalez is putting. The pass into Pelon. Can Pelon get there before Lacau? No, Lacau puts it out to the side again. Just getting a little bit scrappy here as Dubai just fighting to keep their territory or even gain any new ground. but this is an opportunity now, and Lacau falls back as Geta Castagnola goes through and then runs down the left-hand channel, but Geta got held up in the middle by Toccolino, so has to try and get rid of it. Put in a tail shot, came down, but meeting that seemingly perfectly is Matias Gonzalez. Lifted his shoulder, but the ball went vertical. And then here comes Kubi Toccolino just poking it ahead. One touch. Lacau got to stick to it. Perry with a goal line save of a tail shot. Bassoni into Geta's horse. And then I think that might be Benjamin Mancini coming across there. A lot of chopping and changing of the line. Pretty hard to come up with. But you can see here the backhand into Geta. But there's still this channel coming down here. Everybody following that. Lacau. So less than a minute left of this second last chukker. Pelon can only wait and watch as Geta tries to tuck it underneath, but it's stolen off him, and the attack reinvigorated by Pelon Sterling. He's going to stop and try and turn inside. He can't because Pelon's there, because Geta's there. But Kubi Toccolino gets it ahead of Lacau and then punches it up over the halfway line. There's Bassoni. Bassoni now. This is what he's been waiting for. Comes in. The ball's looking good. And it's a perfect execution by the point man. The number one, Alessandro Bassoni, taking it up to 11. That's how they've been. Pelon from the centre. There's the hooter, the klaxon, the horn, whatever you want to call it. Kubi Toccolino. Not quite. End of the fifth chukker. And what an exciting game this has turned out to be. We've finally got Monterosso poking out ahead. And how poignant that it should be. Alessandro himself that scores that 11th goal. So we're moving into the commercial break now for 3 minutes before the last chukker. Straight back into the action. Geta Castagnola. Huge approach shot, but it's picked up by Kubi Toccolino. So the heat is on. We're in the last chukker. This is the very first game of the Prince of Wales tournament. This is one of the previous winners of the Prince of Wales Trophy. Monterosso, I'm pretty sure Dubai will have won it in their time as well. They've got a whole gallery of trophies. Pelon Sterling fumbles for a second, and Lacau trying to make the most of it. He looks up, makes the pass onto the inside. Gonzalez turns to get onto that line. Took just a beat too long, so Matt Perry was able to try and get in the way. Matt Perry comes in, looks for the backhand, feigns that backhand, but then goes for the forehand, but he's picked off it by Gonzalez. And it's a penalty for Dubai. There hasn't been one of these for a while. It's been actually Monterosso. We'll see the stats at some point, but it's definitely been Monterosso winning all the fouls up until this point. Big shot met by Pelon. Pelon doesn't quite get it. Here comes Perry, neck and neck with Gonzalez. On the near side, Geta pulls up. Gonzalez gets a backhand, and they're just trying to draw it away, taking a tiny millisecond too long. Geta Castagnola comes in and absolutely destroys that ball in front of goal. Just look at the action on that next shot. Never one to waste any time. He's seen it a good 10 seconds before anyone else. Here's Pelon, just fumbled for a second, and in comes Geta. Look at that finish. So 11-11. The heat is on. This is Castagnola. Can't quite steal it away from Pelon. Here's Gonzalez. He turns it back, tries to keep Perry away, and then hits it into Perry. That'll be a foul, especially as Perry was moving it away. And again, another one that Dubai have won. Crucial as he looks upwards. Matias Gonzalez just finding it. Here he is. See that? Perry's cleared, and you just can't hit it into the horse in front of you. Lacau, backed up by Geta. Is he just going to leave it for him? Geta decides to make the pass for Lacau. Lacau's running onto it. Pelon can't do anything about it. That just ricochets a little bit off to the left. Perry gets on it to try and steer it back in towards the goal. Geta turns it deftly, saw an opportunity to do that. Gets past one player, again, then another. He's still got to get past the mighty Gonzalez, who was waiting for him in the goal mouth. And there he is again, just skating perilously close to the goal mouth. Perry now pokes it forward. And finally it's through by Geta Castagnola. That was the most extraordinary dance around the goal that I've seen in a long time. But they finally managed to get it. See if we've got some replay action on that. See how many attempts there are to keep it away. No, we're just going to see the finish. Beautiful. Geta just moving. They often just opt for the little pads or nothing at all, just to get that little bit closer to the horse. So, the throw into the last half of the last chukka. Sterling on top of the ball, getting a little bit confusing. Lacau right on top of it, standing on the ball. I'm going to hazard a guess that that's going in Monterosso's favour. But it's a 50-50 chance. No, just another throw-in. This time from the inside out by Tim Bowen. Geta Castagnola comes away from this one, and he's on a screamer, and he's unleashed in towards the goal. It's just a simple approach shot. It's not as straight as he would have liked, and Kubi Tocolino's not helping matters by shunting him out of the way just as the back line approached, denying him that opportunity. But lightning had struck again from that line out, which has pushed the Monterosso team onto their own back line. Pelon Sterling heads out towards the wing, just waiting for it with immaculate timing was Kubi Tocolino. Geta puts in a powerful. How does he get so much power into these shots? The mind boggles. So Matt Perry, Geta calling on him to stop, and tries to draw it in, but the pressure's on from both sides now. He's got Matias. He's got Gonzalez on his left. He's got Sterling on his right, and Geta picks it up where he left off. Shoots a little bit of a dislodge. And that could be Mancini that put in his first goal for the day. Lovely swift action from him. So let's see. Let's see if we can see it from as far back as Matt Perry. So no, it's the shot from Geta, and then just quickly popped it in as he saw it underneath him. So lovely action from both the captain and the youngest player, and one of England's youngest players in the high goal this year. Pelon Sterling now. Just dodges it to the left while he's got support from Matias keeping away Geta Castagnola, but he's got Matt Perry coming in to do some damage. Matt Perry releases the backhand, but straight onto that line is Pelon. I'm not sure that Lacao had a word there, but if you see here, there's that line. On it almost immediately is Pelon, and then coming from the other direction is Lacao. .60 for Kubi. Lovely angle we get on it there. Oh, look at that. Did it go over to the left? You got plenty of swerve to the upside, but gave way. Strong drive from Lacao to Perry. Perry meets it nicely. Racing back to get him is Pelon. Pelon's going too fast, and Mancini doesn't get it. Backhand of Gonzalez to Tocolino. Tocolino decides to turn it as Gonzalez goes in to keep Lacao away from him. And Geta, bouncing ball, no issue for him. Goes back to get it. Needs to take it on a wide swerve as he's going just so fast. Perry looking to get it too. But Geta Castagnola skidding round like he's on skates. Gonzalez leaves it for Sterling. Sterling pokes it ahead of Perry. Perry leaning out, gets the hook. Gonzalez left it behind too, so they're going to have trouble getting this attack reinvigorated. Perry comes in. Despite the bump, he still manages to get a hard hit up almost the halfway line. Here comes Bassoni, but Bassoni's backhand. And that is the end of the match, and Dubai came away 13-11. Monterosso had ever such a slight glimpse of victory as they came back in the early chukkers after half-time, but Dubai maintained that lead. They didn't really increase it by too much, but managed to maintain it and keep a comfortable two-goal lead until the end. So we got a run of the best goals, starting from the first. Geta Castagnola right from the outset, coming in here, chased by Gonzalez, but nothing he can do about it. These are goals that we didn't quite see that, but he'd snatched it away from Tocolino, and another one. This one he takes it off Gonzalez, comes right up, finishes it for him. And another one. It's like a stick and balling exercise in this first chukker here for Geta Castagnola. Matias had ridden pretty straight on that one anyway. That was a lovely play by Lacao there. So Teo Lacao is his full name. I've just been saying Lacao. And look at that one. Yeah, another fumble by both the backs for Monterosso. And what a lovely way to start the season. Just an inspirational game. Oh, these stats are great to see. Okay, so fouls committed. Dubai committed 17 fouls to Monterosso's 8. But somehow that seems to be the game to play, because they came away with 2 more goals. Field goals, they got 9 to Monterosso's 5. Where's penalties? So only 6 out of the 10 penalties. So not really, as opposed to Dubai that scored both of theirs. So they didn't get as many opportunities, but they certainly made the most of them. Penalties. That's where the work needs to be done for Monterosso. 1 yellow card for Lacau, but Lacau certainly put in a very strong performance. And then the throw-ins throw-ins is interesting, because you would have thought throw-ins wins the game, but having won 13 throw-ins to 7, Monterosso still didn't get ahead of Dubai today. So stay tuned. We've got a whole raft of games coming up. Very exciting. There's the winning team posing with Lolo, the great Bartolome Castagnola. And I can tell you right now what we've got coming up in the immediate future. No, well, I was just looking for tomorrow's fixtures for you, but we'll be back with a game every day, if not 2. And stay tuned. Click on pololine.tv for the best polo action in the world.